Right, real quick, guys, before I get into the video, if you're part of the 59% of people that watch these videos and aren't subscribed, come on now, put a new video out every day and make sure you check out JGC Collectibles for all your codes, singles, and accessories too, okay? Transition more into the sort of the nuances into this particular Limitless online tournament. So like you said, crazy different stuff that we're compared to normally, like let's say open deck lists, for example. Let's start there. Rahul, how does open deck lists change, number one, deck building, which we sort of went into a little bit, but deck building, and then how you yourself will be playing, or how people should change how they play?
I think open deck list means that a lot more skill gets added to the game,
Yeah.
purely because there's a lot of mind games that get added towards the top level. Something that I think is very fun,
Yeah.
because you can no longer cheese a game one in a BO3 by having a cheese tech. But given the content of certain cheese techs, you can make your opponent make weird plays, like for example, wait and see hammer and greens, or playing a one of Lysander Labs and like Mewtwo, or Baby Blaze playing something like I don't know, big blind versus not playing big blind GX. So it's like one of those things where you know what your opponent has, so it makes it easier to kind of play around things towards the end of the game. But the beginning of the game, it can really get in your head, and you have to kind of like play around certain things and knowing, like, it's the fear of the known rather than the fear of the unknown. Like, you know how they say ignorance is bliss? You can't really be blissfully ignorant in these games because you know what's coming. So like you can't blame anyone but yourself if you're like, well, I played into this and I didn't think it would happen. No, you knew it would happen. You're playing into it.
Seems quite fair. Anything to add there, Joe?
Oh no, he's pretty much nailed it. I think for me, specific, like I already said, just because of the amount of rounds in a tournament, specific techs are a lot less useful, I think, for me.
Yeah.
If I'm making any like tech decisions, they're going to be more broad decisions that can help over a number of matchups, like your Absols and stuff like that in the game. I think those are better. But I just like the fact that we're going to be able to know what our opponent's playing towards and what their outs are like. So you can make risky plays based on like knowing what they actually have left, and always being happy with yourself that you've made the statistically best like decision at the time, and not being like, oh, there was that. Okay, he actually had like he had way more outs. I died. So like I think it's going to reward good players who actually like can analyze a deck list in like 5-10 minutes and be like, okay, this. I have to prioritize this. I can ignore or be more aloof with because he's not playing Stamp in this matchup or this, that, and the other, you know? So it's going to reward people who can analyze things on the fly and have good, like, theory of how a game progresses in the usual situations and how these tech cards change things.
Okay. Same question to you, Stefan.
Yeah, these are very good points. My initial thinking about open deck lists is that it kind of favors like simpler, more linear lists. Like you can, as they said, you cannot win because you have a cheese tech, like something that your opponent won't expect. That doesn't mean decks are bad. Like you can definitely play like, I don't know, if you're playing like wait and see hammer in PK or something for ADP session, the wait and see hammer is still good, and even if they know about it, they cannot not attach an energy on turn one, right? So it still doesn't mean that decks are not good, but overall, I think decks will have like there's no point having like secret text like, oh, in this special situation he'll never see it coming, I'm gonna do that, because they actually know about it. So it's better to have just a simple deck list, you know, and like better net deck something which is already good, and because the opponent will know about your list anyway, so might as well not try to have the element of surprise and just do something, have a simple and good deck.
Yeah, I think that seems quite fair to me. I was chatting to Jack Old earlier, and he couldn't make it tonight. But what he did want me to relay, guys, is that if he said that people are going to say, "Oh, I'm not going to look at their deck list. I'm too proud to do that." Jack wanted me to really reinforce to people: make sure you use the deck list because they'll 100% be using it on you. And I think his exact words were, "No one's going to remember the loser; they're going to remember the winner." So that's just some echoes from Jack Old there. So. I'm trying to think what other specific rules or limitations would there be for this kind of an event. Best of 125 minutes. Does that change anything for you, Joe?
I think it makes me want to play aggressive decks no matter what. I want my game to finish in 15 minutes and I have breathing time to do whatever. So Yeah, I'd play aggressive decks. I mean, I naturally try and do that anyways, but if a game's gone more than 5 turns, something's gone wrong somewhere. So yeah. Also, just when you were talking about using your opponent's deck list as like a resource, also just remember that like because you're playing on PTGO, prize checking takes about like 30 seconds tops.
Yeah.
There should be no reason why you don't have a separate tab up and just type out your prize cards when you're online.
Right.
There is literally no excuse for it. So just do that because it gives you extra information.
Yeah, stop being headstrong. If you want to learn, do it on ladder. Don't do it in the tournament.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's fair. Same question to you, Rahul. Best of 125 minutes. Does that change anything at all?
I'm going to be playing faster for sure. I don't know how I could play faster already, but I'll be careful with how I click and stuff. But I know I've already been getting lazier when I'm playing at home. It's a different environment. It doesn't feel like I'm at the table, and the pressure isn't really on because I'm comfortably in my chair, probably wearing what I'd sleep in, like my jammies. So I need to actually get alert. 25 minutes will kind of kick me in the butt with that, and it doesn't leave a lot of downtime in between rounds, so I can't really get too lazy, if that makes sense, which is nice. But also at the same time, it's I have to pick a fast deck, and I have to pick a deck that wins fast or loses fast. I don't like to take 50-50s in this kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And same question to you, Stefan.
Yeah, honestly, the time limit is fair. 25 minutes is already usually enough to play one game in real life on CGO because of the shuffles going, everything goes faster. Except maybe if you play a control deck or you resource management, it takes more time because you cannot select the cards in advance and put them on top of your discard, right? It takes time to click and so on. But if you play classic decks, the games are usually over in 15 minutes, so you have more time than you would expect. Even if you take some time to think, write down your prices, check your opponent's discards and stuff like this, it's fine. So yeah, overall, I do agree with the wanting to play a fast deck just because it's going to be a long tournament, right? You're expecting about 20 rounds, so that takes a lot of time, and so even though if you can get at some point a little bit of time to breathe, just take some fresh air, not ending your round and then 1 minute later the pairings are up for the next one, it's better. So I understand wanting to play a faster deck. That said, if you're absolutely comfortable with a slower deck and play the deck that you know how to play, because you're gonna be playing a lot with it.
That's it, yeah. 20 games, baby. You know what I mean? That's not a small amount of games. That now,
statistically, at least 1 or 2 will just be someone just drawing dead and and doing so. At least you will probably have at least one round which will be a break. Hopefully when you won, but sometimes you just get a bad hand and lose. That happens as well.
That's fair. Rahul, earlier you said you wanted to go into some rules or something that you want to go a bit more in depth on. What were you referring to earlier?
Mostly the thing that is I think the biggest concern to me is just 25 minutes and the fact that both players have to submit / there's chance for foul play available on the table, which is something that's a concern. Now, granted, we won't see what happens until it happens. I'd like to believe in the nature of man, but also players should be a little more cautious and be alert. Either record your games. I think if you have the availability to do so. I'm going to be streaming all day on Saturday. I think. I hope.
With a delay.
I don't know. Yo, dude.
You need a delay. You need a delay.
I'll let him snipe me. Whatever, dude. They can see what's coming. It's not going to stop them from losing.
Yeah, but if you check your stream, you can see what's prized and so on.
Yeah, I know. So I'll probably have a delay. But I think I like how everything is structured. Just the 25 minutes plus the submission time causes me a little bit of concern. Just because some people's internets might not be fast. Accepting a request on PTCGO plus getting the game going might take a little bit longer than intended.
Yeah.
It's just a couple of small human error things that could really throw this askew. So your 25-minute round could actually end up becoming 20 because Joe had to go to the bathroom in between his rounds and didn't see that he had a friend request, or the pairings came up, X, Y, and Z. This is all hypothetical naturally, but it's just a cause for concern. And I know other players are probably thinking it too if I'm thinking it. So
yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair. Do you feel there's anything you can do to sort of try and limit those potential factors on your end, or?
Any chance for foul play, I'm going to be recording / streaming. So foul play can kind of be like, hey, get this. If somebody's doing that, there's a chance they're probably going to do it multiple times. So that's probably an instant ban, or like get them out of there. I think that's a very easily remediable situation. If you're gonna play spoiler to somebody, like the earlier conversation was brought up in Mill. Like if you're gonna be the guy who like does that in Mill, and you get reported once or twice, like that's basically a penalty at a tournament. That's a DQ. Like get out of here.
That's fair. Yeah.
Don't ruin everyone else's experience. We're already stuck in our own homes and have nothing else to do. Please don't. Like, why? What enjoyment are you getting out of this? And I think, like, in terms of, like, preparing food or eating or whatever, I don't think there's a good solution, especially because, like, the time zones are so erratic that, like, lunchtime for Stefan is, like, me waking up. So, like... And when he's getting ready for dinner, I'm probably like done with lunch already, or So the time zones, there's no good solution for that. But play it like a tournament, I guess, and like have snacks prepared for the day. And if you're gonna make a meal, I mean, be ready to make a meal if you lose a quick one, honestly, or win a quick one. But that's some of those things that like I can't really answer until it actually happens on Saturday. So we see how actually it flows. But I think this will be a precursor to how things change for qualifiers 2, 3, and 4, depending on the trial and error process, which I think is fine.
Yeah, I think they said there would be a 1 hour break at some point, so you actually have time to cook pasta or something.
Nice. I had pasta.
Yeah, pasta. Oh my god, that's really hard to get
make,
hold of.
Right? Even I can make pasta, so.
Gonna say everyone's got pasta. That's quite hard to get in the UK. That pasta right now. That's a limited commodity. That one. Yeah, everyone's going buying it out. Everyone's going crazy over the pasta. Don't know why. Anything to add there, Joe, in regards to limiting a sort of what's the word I'm looking for? Limiting the variance because it's this new environment. Anything you can do your end potentially to sort of keep that in-house, so to speak?
I mean, you can only do the best you can do. Like you just refresh the page and try and contact the person as soon as you can. Try and get your round going as quickly as possible. Have good communication with them. Is probably the best thing. That's really all you can really encourage. I think round 1 is going to be probably the biggest clown fiesta because there's probably going to be a lot of people who signed up and don't actually turn up. So it's going to be an absolute mare for the judges, like round 1. But I think by the time it's been like round 5, hopefully it's pretty smooth for everyone and everyone's in the flow. So it should be fine as the day progresses.
Same question to you, Stefan. Anything you do?
Yeah. I mean, what they said already. I agree that like round 1 will probably be
manic,
very weird, very chaotic. Not only for the reason Joe said, but also because, look, I'm hanging out on the Limitless Invitational Discord server, right? I try to help people answer their questions, and a lot of people, I think, don't read the rules, don't read anything. They ask questions which have been answered before, and which have been. Which you would expect to know before registering, right? Like you get registered player asking if the format is standard or expanded. You're like, you should know this by now. You submitted the decklist, and like I'm pretty sure that in round 1 there'll be a lot of people saying, "What? Where can I see my opponent's decklist? I didn't know that because they didn't notice this at all." So I think I hope that round 1 at least. The organizers will give us a little bit more time to get everyone used to how Battle 5 works, how you add someone, contact someone, and start playing, and then report the game at the end, maybe upload a screenshot so people will not know how to do this. Some people cannot play on computers for whatever reason, so they play on iPad, and then they have to go to their phone for Discord or whatever. So there's going to be a lot of chaos at the beginning while people figure out how to do that. But honestly, Joe said round 5. I think by round 3 people will be overall used to it, and like the people who didn't show up will be out of the tournament. So and then hopefully it will go smooth enough. And just if you're playing, just try to be there on time. Have by round 3 you will know how much time there is exactly between 2 rounds, so you can be ready. You can be like, okay, I have time to get a snack for 2 minutes, or I don't have time, I need to be before in front of my computer and so on. I'm just a bit worried that there will be like technical issues, people not managing to add each other because someone entered their name wrong or something. Like we had these kind of issues in smaller tournaments, like 40-player tournaments. We organized because someone put the wrong name for CGO or no, or I don't know. Sometimes I don't even understand what the issue is. We managed to fix it, but it can take 5 minutes, and 5 minutes out of 25 rounds. So I don't know how it will be handled in this time. I guess we'll see.
Yeah, that's it. All we could do now, we're so close, is wait and see, baby. But I think that's everything I wanted to cover. Has anyone got anything else that potentially they want to sort of mention or bring up, or? I think we
actually don't know what to talk before I arrived. So
all we did was talk about like peak one ADP, just deck stuff really. Nothing too crazy, to be fair. Now, so I think that's pretty much it really. So just get a little show of hands. All three of you is playing, I assume.
Yeah.
Happy days. And you said you're streaming it. Have any of you two streaming it, Joe or Stefan, or?
I'm gonna record.
Okay.
I'm probably playing my.
I'm gonna stream Snipe, Joe.
That's why I'm recording. Not streaming.
Yeah. I'm not streaming this time. I think like if maybe like for the next one I might stream. The first one I don't want to add any more pressure on myself, to have to do anything. But if it goes well, maybe second time if people are interested I might stream. We'll see. With a delay.
Yeah, with a delay, yeah. Right.
I did remember one thing, just real quick.
Oh, yeah.
Just remember that Qualifier 4 is a different format. That's when Rebel Clash is legal. So Qualifier 4 and the actual invitation itself, it's up to Rebel Clash. So
yeah, I'm going to be taking my decks directly from Joe from OmniPoke's YouTube. Another Jolteon Greninja deck.
You've won.
Jolteon Greninja, baby.
So lucky.
I actually didn't realise that the last one was going to be. Wow, that's going to be insane.
And the actual invitation will also be in that format, which
that's
going
to be insane. Oh, and speaking of the actual invitation as well, aren't you two up for that content vote? Are we not? I believe.
Yeah.
Content creators.
Thanks. You have to play the vote. You have to be in the qualifier to vote, guys. Keep that in mind. You can't just be like, I love Joe, so Joe's mom, grandma, dad, dog, maybe Jack. I don't know if he's playing or not. All vote for Joe.
Playing.
Jack's brother,
Jack's brother.
Sign up, vote for me, and drop round 1. Gives me a better chance that someone drops as well.
Vote for Joe. He's gonna need it.
Double value.
That's it. So I'd be happy for the time, to be fair. But thank you all three for coming on. Such sort of relatively quick notice. I'm so glad we managed to get you all here. Because I don't know about you guys, but I'm genuinely so excited to see how this Limitless stuff pans out. I might be playing in this one. But the other some I'm definitely going to get involved with. Just going to warn you all now, saying to Joe before everyone else hopped in the call, if I'm playing this weekend, I'm 100% playing a Turbo Goons. So if you see me, I can see you that list. If you haven't got an out, just come on, let's quit it early. Let's go get a sandwich. Let's get some Chris and go on to the next round. Okay, just keep it moving. But thank you all so much for coming on, guys. Oh, I'll let you guys any shout outs as well before we wrap it up. We'll start off with you, Joe. Any shout outs for yourself?
The YouTube is OmniPoke. The Twitch is Team OmniPoke. I'm now partnered, so you can request me to run ads, and I will certainly oblige you. And yeah, shout out to Limitless as well. There's a lot of good stuff that they're doing. It's a really amazing thing. Like, everyone would be really bored right now, so it's absolutely phenomenal what they've done. And yeah, also obviously my team, CCG. There's a bunch of us playing, so hopefully that'll provide some good content for the Facebook as well.
Yeah, that's probably something I should mention as well. Like, big shout out to Limitless. Now, obviously, I don't know if they might be watching this, I'm not sure. But before this, I was messaging you, Joe. Well, like, what are we gonna do? Kind of, like, there's nothing for us to cover now. And then they go and drop this. I'm like, here we go. We're back in the game, baby. So yeah, big, massive shout out to Limitless. You know, everyone go tweet them, go give them some high five. I don't know, go donate, all that good stuff. Because to be fair, they are really pulling it out the bag here. This is some amazing. Like, I think they said, Jack was saying they want to aim for about 800 for this tournament. That's insane. That's more than like any European regional so far. So they're really going the full mile here. So nothing but love and respect for them. Rahul, any sort of shout outs from yourself or anything like that?
Sure. Before I start mine, I just wanted to bring up the donation thing because they did say on their page that any donation, bits, subs, Patreon, anything they get, 50% of it will go directly to relief funds.
Oh,
so
yeah,
if you don't want to just support them and want to support the cause for everything that's going on right now in what our everyday life will soon hopefully not become, please do that. It would mean the world to me and I guess everyone else participating. And then for my shout outs, I guess I stream on Twitch like once a year, so like come check out my annual stream. Might be Saturday, might be next year, who knows. I technically have a YouTube, so check me out there. It's just my name. Shout out to TC Evolutions, Photon Store. I'm going to be doing a lot of Rebel Clash stuff. I'm actually super excited in a weird way that there's no major tournaments, so the meta doesn't develop as fast.
Yes.
That'll be something cool where like everyone kind of does it at their own pace, and we might see a lot of creativity and it'll be fun. So that's my shout out to everyone who loves playing Pokemon, even during this unfortunate time where we can't really do it.
Yeah. No, that's the one thing I was thinking about. Like silver line to there being no in real life tournaments. Like when Rebel Clash comes out, no one's gonna instantly know their best decks. You might have some time to play your little wacky rows, getting a bit of an industry. Like, oh yeah, I've broke the meta a little bit. You know what I mean? And same to you, Stefan. Any shout outs or anything like that before we wrap it all up?
Yeah, well, like you, I want to say like thanks to Limitless for organizing all this. It means I think a lot to the whole community. And you said it's gonna be bigger than any European regionals. Actually, I think it's more like a replacement for EUIC than any regionals. You know, I think of this series as like the replacement for the international we don't have, and I hope that someone actually does the same for NAIC and for World. So we have lots of big tournaments during the whole year. I might help organize it if it's needed. I don't know yet. We'll see. But at the very least, it's very cool that someone is doing something like this. And big shout out to them. For my personal shout outs, well, I'm a writer for Poke Beach. So if you like my content, you can subscribe to it. Check out what I'm writing. I have some cool articles coming up soon. One for which like an article will be up before the qualifier number 2 about a deck that might be secretly a good play. I won't say too much right now. And then, of course, I will do Rebel Clash content. So I will be tackling the format at the same time as everyone else and try to find out the best deck to play for qualifier number 4 and hopefully the invitational.
Yeah, that all sounds really good to me. I've read a couple of your articles as well there, Stefan. So yeah, keep them coming up, baby. I love it. Speed Station and the Ultimate Mewtwo one, I remember that. Yeah, I read them. Speed Station, my favourite decks, that one. But yeah, I just want to say my shout outs are just shout out to you guys for coming on. Nothing but love. Especially such quick notice, like I said. I just really wanted to get some coverage for this Limitless tournament, make it as big as possible because we ain't got nothing else to do every Pokemon community. Let's just make this a big smash tournament. Love that. I was going to say something else, completely forgot. But maybe it'll come back to my head, maybe or not. But oh, that was it. And thank all of you guys for watching. If it weren't for all you guys watching, I wouldn't be here doing this now. Actually, at 400 subscribers today, which I was over the moon about. Closing on 500 now, baby. We're getting there. We're getting there. So thank you for all you guys. Leave any questions, any of that in the comments. And I'm hopefully planning on, well, I haven't asked them yet, but I want to get them all back on afterwards so we can have a little post discussion as well, but we'll worry about that later. But thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you all next time. Hey guys, thanks for watching that video, much appreciated. Really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please don't hesitate to subscribe. I try and put out as much stuff here as I can. Full deck profiles plus games, topic conversational pieces regarding anything in the TCG. Check out my Twitter, check out my Facebook. That's where you get most of the updates, sort of see what's going on behind the scenes, all that good stuff. Also check out the SoundCloud for the full bi-weekly podcast. If you're interested, if you like the conversational pieces, go check that out. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a good day.